Okay, all right. Good morning and welcome to today's session of A Course in Miracles. And we're going to be starting. That starts out this third review or fourth review. So, for the next 10 days, we're going to be reviewing the last 20 lessons, starting with lesson 151 through 170. My name is Oliver Blue, and I am your guy. I'm your guide, I'm your temporary guide, and I'm your temporary host. I'm your temporary coach, but I am your permanent brother. I am your permanent self. And as we enter into this review phase, I want to kind of preface it with the introduction that is also included in the workbook lesson as we enter into each one of the review phases. It also has a introduction to entering into that review, and I want to just bring out a few points in the introduction, and I'll just read through it. And hopefully, if you've been on this journey with us for 171 days, that you're still here, or if you've jumped in somewhere along the way, that you're still here, or if it's your first time being with us, that you remain with us, because this is a journey of transformation where we have made a committed decision to train our minds along the lines in which the course ideas are being shared here. We believe that this is a course that was authored by none other than the one that has walked the path completely and is completely ego free, just in another form. And in his body identification, they called him Jesus. But now he remains uh, as God created him, just in another form that is bodiless. And so he's here to help us to wake up to the truth and the reality of who we are. And so this course was given um, mystically, and it's been here since 1977, and it resonates with me. And obviously, it resonates with you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to these workbook lesson commentaries. So we're on this journey of transformation. We're on this journey of renewing the mind, of undoing the ego thought system. And on the journey, we make advances. We have experiences. It's like on a natural journey. There's things to see, things to hear, things to know, things to experience, things that can't continue on the journey with us. Some things we have to let go, and some things that we embrace on the journey, and they can go with us. And so that's what this is all about: sorting out that which is real versus that which is unreal. We've been sorting out that ever since lesson one. What is real? You remember the first lesson says, nothing I see mean anything. In other words, we gave up the meaning that we had given anything, and we open ourselves up for the truth to teach us. We open ourselves up for our internal guide to guide us. And that's what we've been practicing. So the practicing of these ideas are very, very important. It is through the practice that we come to understand that they are true to us. And so we encourage you to practice the ideas as we introduce one idea per day. Well, today we're going to be reviewing two of the previous ideas, workbook lesson 151 and 152. But before we enter into that review of those, we're going to go through the introduction here, and I'm just kind of read through. I don't need to commentate on how this is already plainly spoken to us and where we are and where we're going and what we should be doing and how we should be feeling. Okay. So it says, we now review again. I think this is our fourth review. This time, we are ready to give more effort and more time to what we undertake. So we've been in this long enough to know that the importance of this, and are willing to give more effort and more time to the ideas that we are learning, to the practices. We recognize we are preparing for another phase of understanding, because if you notice, after each review session, the ideas become more enlightening. They become more direct. It's like each review period prepares us for the next advancement along the journey. And so we recognize that we are preparing for another phase of understanding. We would take this step completely, that we may go on again more certain. And each time we move into a different new series of 20 lessons, there is more certainty, there's more sincerity, and there's more faith to uphold more surety. So certainty, sincerity, and surety is what we are growing in as we move into each new 20 lessons. So that's growth, that's advancement, and that's what spirituality is about. It's about expansion. It's about expanding our awareness and expanding our consciousness. And when we do that, we feel good. You notice you feel good when you in a state of expansion instead of a state of contraction, where there is no growth. Or in some cases, we are going in reverse. But there is a love, there's a God, there's a reality that is calling us to a grander, more glorious experience of ourselves. And this course is helping us to get there. And this is not the only course. This is not the only advanced spiritual book. There are others, thousands of others, thousands of paths, but we've chosen this one. This one is what resonates with me. And I'm sharing it out here, and it has resonated with those that are listening. So our footsteps have not been unwavering, and doubts have made us walk uncertainly and slowly on the road this course has set forth. So as we have moved forward, we have had to deal with uncertainty and wavering and doubt. That's still a part of the residual in our minds. So there's a clearing that's continuously, and a cleansing that is continuously going on as each workbook lesson introduces a new idea, some startling, some unbelievable, some hard to accept, some totally contrary to what we've been taught. But as we stay with the ideas, as we practice them, we begin to sense the benefit. We begin to notice what's happening to the way we're thinking, the way we're feeling, the way we're perceiving. We notice that there's a sense of freedom. There's a sense of heaviness being lifted from us. There's a sense of peace. There's a level of knowing that continue to grow and increase within us. But there is still some clearing that has to take place, because there's still some credence and some allegiance that we have to some things that don't serve us, some ideas that don't serve us, some beliefs that don't serve us. It says our footsteps have not been unwavering, a little wavering, and doubts have made us walk uncertainly and slowly on the road this course set forth. But now we hasten on. We hasten on. We move on because we're headed somewhere. For we approach a greater certainty. We're going into greater certainty. The Bible talks about us going from glory to glory to glory, and that's what it means. An expansive journey and an adventure that we're on here as we're coming to know ourselves, as we're coming to know God, and as we're coming to know all humanity and all living things. It said a greater certainty, a final purpose, a final purpose. We're coming to understand the final parts of our purpose in life, why we're here. What is the deal? We're coming to understand our purpose and our roles and our function and a sure goal. What is our goal? What is the goal of all of this? I'll go on. So here's two prayers that's been offered here on our behalf. It says, steady our feet, our Father. Let our doubts be quiet and our holy minds be still. And speak to us. We have no words to give to you. We would but listen to your words and make it ours. Lead our practicing as does a father leads a child, a little child, along a way he does not understand. Yet does he follows, sure that he is safe because his father leads the way for him. And so, each workbook lesson, as it presents these God thoughts, these God ideas, these thoughts and ideas are like a father leading a little child. And we trust, as the little child will trust in a father. We trust in the truth that has been presented to us. And this is the truth that leads us on this journey. So do we bring our practicing to you today? So we bring our practicing to that one who leads us. And if we stumble, you will raise us up. If we forget the way, we count upon your sure remembering. We wander off, but you will not forget to call us back. Quickening our footsteps now, that we may walk more certainly and quickly unto you. And we accept the word you offer us to unify our practicing. So it's the unification of our practicing. As we review the thoughts that you have given us, and each one of these workbook lessons has a central idea, a central thought. And these are the thoughts of God that are so consistent to reality. These are the thoughts of God that are designed specifically to help us to undo error and to accept the truth of who we are and who God is and who humanity is. That's what this whole course is all about. And we've been led and we've been guided by our internal teacher. All of us have the internal teacher within ourselves. These commentaries are just supplement to help along the way. The workbook lessons, as we read them each day, they are tools to help along the way. But it is the internal teachers within us as we practice these ideas. Because as surely as I'm speaking to you now, you're going to have opportunity each day to practice the idea for today. That as we practice them, we come to undo the fear. We come to undo the sin consciousness and the guilt that we have been so committed to. And now we become committed to love. And so this is the thought which should precede the thoughts that we review. So there's going to be one central thought that will guide us every day. at the beginning of our day, during our practice, during our day, and as we fall asleep at night, we're going to focus on one central theme that is going to help us. It's going to hasten us on our journey. And so each one but clarifies some aspect of this thought. Each one of our review lessons, or help it be more meaningful, more personal and true, and more descriptive of the holy self, of the whole self we share and now prepare to know again. So this one central thought that we will use each day with each review lesson is God is but love. Let that sink in for a second. God is but love. Reality is but love. The truth is but love. God is but love. And therefore, so am I. Just say that to yourself. God is but love. And therefore, so am I. Why? Because I and God are one. We share the same life, the same love, the same being, the same personage, the same self. There's not two selves. There's not God in me, but there's God. And I am a part of God. This is so central to our renewal and our transformation, that we embrace the reality that we are one with God. And in that oneness is love. And so because God is love, so am I. So are you. And so is all humanity love. The only difference is some is awake to that reality and some are still asleep to that reality. But here, as you have heard, awakening, enlightenment is but a recognition of the truth. And we have recognized this truth. And as we embrace it, and as we declare it and claim it as for ourselves, we're not only claiming it for ourselves, but we're claiming it for all humanity, because it is the truth for all of us, because there is no separation among any of us in reality. So because we know this now, and we become a part and a parcel of the plan to bring everyone to the awareness of this. We understand now our role, our function, our purpose. Our life becomes very significant, very important. So that central theme is God is but love, and therefore so am I. This self, big ass self, alone knows love. Our true identity alone knows love. God only knows love. And our true self and our awakened self, we only know love. This awakened self alone is perfectly consistent in its thoughts. It knows its creator, understands itself, is perfect in its knowledge and in its love, and never changes from its constant state of union with its Father and itself. Here it's describing our true identity, the self that God created. Remember here. Now, listen, it says that this self, who we really are, is perfect. It's perfect. What God creates is perfect, because God is perfect. What God creates is holy, because God is holy. What God creates is love, because God is love. What God creates is what? Certainty, because God is certain. What God creates is surety, because God is sure. What God creates is likened to himself. It's purposeful. It's mindful. It's awake. It's conscious. What God creates is awareness itself that becomes aware of itself. And that's what we're doing along this journey. We're becoming aware of our true self. It says this true self is consistent in its thoughts. And that's why we're going through these 365 days of practicing the thoughts of God, so that we would now become consistent in our thought. We know our Creator, that we know God, that we understand ourselves because we understand God. And so we go to understand ourselves because ourself and God are the same. We are perfect in our knowledge and our knowing, and we're perfect in love. We have allowed love to what? Have its perfect work. And we never change from this constant state of union with our Father and with ourselves. That's the original and the unchanged and unaltered state that we are and that we remain in. And when we awake to that, we fully embrace it. And it is this that waits to meet us at the journey ending. This is what we're on the journey to return to, the knowing of ourselves. Every step we take brings us a little nearer. This review will shorten time immeasurably if we keep in mind that this remains our goal. And as we practice it, is this to which we are approaching. Let us raise our hearts from dust to life as we remember this is promised us, and that this course was sent to open up the path of light to us. Notice now, this course was sent to open up the path of light to us and teach us step by step how to return to the eternal self we thought we lost. We're returning to ourselves, our true selves, not our false made up self, fearful self, sin conscious self, guilt conscious written self. But we are returning to our original self, a return to love. So they call a Course in Miracles. The miracle is what? We turn to ourselves simply by what? Shifting our perception. So God is saying that what? He takes this journey with us because we're not separate. For God shares our doubt and fears a little while, that we may come to him who recognized the road by which all fears and doubts are overcome. We walk together. So this is really Jesus in his glorified self, having gone the gamut, having gone the way as a man, having walked this path, saying that he walks with us, having recognized this, having been tempted in all ways with doubt and fear, yet without what? Giving any credence to it. He was the proof. He was the first one. He knows the way. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. He said, we walk together. He said, I must understand uncertainty and pain, although I know they have no meaning. See, he was tempted, yet without what? Giving credence to it. He knew they had no meaning. He was totally committed to the Father. Yet a Savior must remain with those who they teach, seeing what they see, but still retaining in his mind the way that lead out, and now will lead us out with him. God's Son is crucified until you walk along the road with me. My resurrection comes again each time I lead a brother safely to the place at which the journey ends and is forgot. I am renewed each time a brother learns there is a way from misery and away from pain, which is what we're learning. I am reborn each time a brother's mind turns to the light in him and look for me. I have forgotten no one. Love has forgotten no one. Help me now to lead you back to where the journey was begun, to make another choice with me. And that's basically what we're doing. We're on a journey without a distance, where we're going back to where we made the original error. The error was the belief in separation. So we're going back there to make another choice. And what we're choosing? The choice for truth, the choice for reality, the choice for love. we're choosing our original state. So release me as you practice once again the thought I brought to you from him who sees your bitter need and knows the answer God has given to him. Together we review these thoughts. Together we devote our time and our efforts to them. And together we will teach them to our brothers. God would not have heaven incomplete. It waits for you, as I do. I am incomplete without your part in me. And as I am made whole, we go together to our ancient home. Talking about the original creation. Prepared for us before time was and kept unchanged by time. Immaculate and safe as it will be at the last when time is done. So let this review be then your gift to me. For this alone I need, that you will hear the word I speak and give them to the world. You are my voice, my eyes, my feet, my hands through which I save the world. The self from which I call to you is but your own. To him we go together. Take your brother's hand. For this is not a way we walk alone. In him I walk with you, and you with me. Our Father wills his Son be one with him. What lies but must not then be one with you, or what lives then must not then be one with you. Let this review become a time in which we share a new experience, yet one as old as time and older still. Hallowed your name. Holy is our name. Your glory undefiled forever. He's talking about us. That holy, hallowed is our name. That our glory is undefiled by the dream of separation. And your wholeness now complete as God established it, as God created us. It says we practice but an ancient truth. We knew before illusion seemed to claim the world. And we remind the world that it is free of all illusions every time we say, God is but love, and therefore, so am I. With this, we start each day of our review. With this, we start and end each period of practice time. And with this thought, we sleep to waken again, once again, with these same words upon our lips to greet another day. No thought that we review, but we surround with it and use the thoughts to hold it up before our minds and keep it clear in our remembrance throughout the day. And thus, when we are finished this review, we will recognize the word we speak are true. Yet are the words but aids. These words are helpers, and to be used except at the beginning and the end of practice periods, but to recall the mind as needed to its purpose. We place faith in the experience that comes from practice. Notice now, experience that comes from us practicing. Now the means we use, not the means we use. So our faith is in the what experience that comes from our practice, not in the method. We wait for the experience and recognize that it is only here that conviction lies. So we're talking about a direct experience of our true self. That's where conviction comes from. We become convicted about our true identity as we experience the love that we are and the love that we share with our Father. We use the words and try again to go beyond them to their meaning. So it's not necessarily the words that we speak, but it's the meaning behind them. It's the love that inspires them, which is far beyond their sounds. So it's beyond time and space that we enter. The words just point us. And the guide just guide us. And God makes the final step. The sound grows dim and disappears. Notice now, as we approach the source, which is our Father, the source of meaning, which is God, is our only reality. It is here that we find the rest. It's here that we find peace and joy and happiness. It is here that ends all journeys. It ends all illusions. That we acknowledge that we are back in the heart of God, where He or she or it will have us be. So that's the introduction to the next 10 lessons. And so today, lesson 171, we're going to follow the instruction. So we open up our practice by repeating the central theme. So we say, God is but love, and therefore, so am I. God is but love, and so, therefore, so I am. So we are acknowledging that we are of the same love that God is. Everyone that is born of God is born of love. And so God is love, but love and nothing else. There's no opposites. And therefore, so am I, love. And there's no opposite. Absolutely no opposite. You would have to be dreaming, or hallucinating, or fantasizing of an opposite. But in reality, there is no opposite. You are love. And then workbook lesson 151. Remember the thought. The idea was all things are but echoes of the voice for God. All things are but echoes of the voice for God. God is but love, and therefore so am I. And then workbook lesson 152 stated, the power of decision is my own. The power to decide is my own. No one else. Only you have the power to decide. Why? God is but love, and therefore so am I. So those are our two ideas for today that rest in our central thought. God is but love, and therefore so am I. All things are echoes of the voice for God. All things are echoes of the voice for God. And the power of decision is my own. So as you go through your day, be reminded of the central thought. And then be reminded of the ideas that was in workbook lesson 151 and 152. And we just practice these ideas today. And there's one that is with us, that is one that is us, that is leading us along the way, that is hastening our journey, that is shining light for us to see. Thank you so much. This is Workbook Lesson 171. And tomorrow we'll enter into day 2 of our review. And look forward to you being there. Looking forward to this refreshing, this preparation. This is all good. This is exciting and good stuff. Thank you so much. Have a great